Welcome to the Making of YOR, a podcast where we turn ideas into game mechanics for our upcoming tabletop RPG, YOR. If you'd like to stay up to date on the developments of YOR, head over to our Discord. Link is in the description. And we're back again.
We made it. We've been gone a week for y'all, like a month for us.
Yeah. Stupid stuff and life getting in the way.
A stupid regular ass job.
Yeah. All right. So, but we did work on some stuff, and now we finished up I guess we didn't finish up the Scholar. We almost finished the Scholar.
Yeah, we did the two of the subclasses and its base feature stuff the other day off mic.
Yeah,
and
reworked its features.
One more subclass or archetype to do.
Yeah. The Profister is now a feature of the two-fisted archaeologist.
Yeah.
It was the big change. The librarian has an ability called Quiet, and it's the silence spell.
Yeah. Which, you know, you can only shush effectively within 30 feet, we decided.
Yeah. Outside of 30 feet, it's real hard to shush someone.
Yeah, that's prohibitively.
Yeah.
You got to be at least tier 3.
30 feet seems like an extreme distance anyway, but they are a librarian. Yeah. It's a special skill.
They're trained. They take a class.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, field researcher is currently what we have named. If we end up keeping it, feels like I think the first one we came up with as like an idea for an adventuring scholar. Right now we have gain a cantrip written down.
Okay.
And he doesn't have a cantrip from another source unless he comes from a magus.
Yeah.
To this class.
I mean, I don't hate gain a cantrip. That's always good.
Yeah, it's always good. And even if you are a magus, getting another one's not bad.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, another cantrip. Whatever shall I do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does the field researcher like trope archetype kind of step on the two-fisted archaeologist too much?
Well, yeah, maybe, because psychometry is probably more or just as justifiable on a field researcher as it would be that guy. But he is an archaeologist, so
yeah, reading stuff about the past. I don't know.
What would be another type of... We deleted one already.
Yeah.
Which was whatever was going to have like the pet class that was going to have a goon that followed him around.
I mean, it would be cool to have like a sapient book, wouldn't it?
Okay. So if that's an ability, so they've got a weird book. Do we think that that's in the field researcher archetype, or should we rename it to something else?
I feel like since we did two-fisted archaeologist, we probably rename field researcher now. I mean, I guess we could give him some like explory stuff.
Yeah, so scholars good at gaining information, all scholars.
Yeah.
From written materials. They have their own bag of holding in their brain. And they gain resource from other creatures. Having resource, and they have some good stats. They have Rune Lore General Knowledge and another.
A random +1.
They'll get one spell. Trying to think what would fit with that. So librarian is going to be best at storing information, and then added a way to kind of shut down enemies.
Mm-hmm.
More control. Two-fisted archaeologist is beat people up with its fist and can gain information from
objects
rather than just written sources. So we've got written source and object. So he's kind of the special information gatherer as archaeologist. I wouldn't want another special way of gaining information necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because the other guy does have a special way. It's not in gaining, but rather that he can.
Oh yeah, storing.
He can store a lot to access when needed. So we've got informational stuff, ribbons in both. What would be if we were going to do that again? Because he is a scholar, so
so information based thing.
What would be another information based skill? And I feel like from that we could define what the archetype should be called based on how he gets information uniquely.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a guy that can discover information, a guy that can store information, maybe processing information.
Well, they all get that a little bit because they have speed reader.
Oh, yeah.
So they all kind of have had that benefit.
Okay. Maybe like, so
is there any fantasy or character? Does Indiana Jones, I know he's kind of the idea of two-fisted archaeologist. Does he perform an interrogation in one of the movies? Do you like beat someone up?
He gets interrogated.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm picturing like maybe someone who has heightened abilities at extracting information from people.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the other source you're going to get information from. You have written material. You have objects. The next, like, most common logical one would be people. So maybe someone who's better at talking to people. Because he doesn't really have
maybe like a little bit of a face, like more of an anthropologist.
Yeah. Well, it could even be, I don't know. I was thinking, like, obviously guest speaker or traveling professor or something like that all sounds like stuff that he would be good at giving information to people.
Yeah. Professor Emeritus. Oh, maybe like a professor kind of class. Some to disseminate information.
But so functionally, how would we implement that in a way that would be beneficial to the player?
Yeah. Because the fighter's already got the focus up thing. Or size up. Trying to think of, there's 3 different kinds of like super intelligence in sci-fi, and there's quality super intelligence, which just means you can come up with ideas like just differently than other people, like the difference between us and like bonobos. And then there's speed super intelligence, which is you can just do processing faster, but there's a third one that I can't remember.
Well, the first one would be tough, I think, to implement for us in game mechanics, because I think traditionally, like, the idea of coming up with solutions is not a gameplay.
That's on the player. We already have speed reading.
Yeah.
Paper pusher.
What are, okay. So then what are some...
We could do like a true namer, but for scientific names.
What is this?
Well, like naming magic, that kind of thing, is sort of like saying the true name of a thing and therefore gaining some kind of control over it.
Okay.
But it could be based off of like how well you know the like arcane nomenclature for this thing. Like I know that a silverback gorilla or whatever, or just a regular gorilla's scientific name is gorilla.
Okay.
Or like calling a crow a corvid or something. Maybe it's got something to do with like the knowledge he has learned and control, like disseminated out that way.
Almost like a ranger in some ways. Functionally, it would be
a little bit.
From fighting enemies, you get to gain knowledge about those enemies. It's now beneficial.
Maybe, or like, I don't want to give him, maybe like a downtime thing he can do. I don't know. I know it breaks with the theme, but I still kind of like magic book better.
Yeah, I think that's easier to build for. I'm just trying to figure out what is that. If that's a type of scholar,
it
feels like magic book feels so much like a boon. Yeah. It feels like a boon thing you would get. But if he has like a book that he could ask questions, maybe he's but it feels like it's weird with scholar, but like fortune teller. Yeah. Or like he's got a book that just gives him information.
Yeah. Well, like he does his predictions through math.
Okay.
Yeah, statistically, this is what's likely to happen.
Oh, So we want mathematic divination wizard.
Yeah, maybe. That feels pretty good.
Divination scholar.
Yeah.
We won't call him that, but like functionally, that's what we'd be building.
Yeah, broadly. The math wizard.
Call him a mathlete.
I do like mathlete. Give him some like body buffs too.
Yeah, that'd be very entertaining. Okay, so if we make the final scholar is a mathlete,
Yeah.
what are his two abilities? So we have something that will be a physical ability he could use in combat.
Yeah. Divide and multiply.
Okay. What does it do?
Cut something in half, make two of himself.
So this is a version that has a like a false double.
Yeah, well, I'm imagining like he puts himself into a quantum superposition.
Okay.
Until it is somebody hits him and proves which one he isn't in.
So he has an ability that lets him appear to be in two places.
Yeah, and he can take actions from either of those two places, but if he gets hit, he's in the place he wasn't. So like if you're there and there and he hits one of them, the one he hit disappears and then you're stuck in the place that you were.
Okay.
Like Schrodinger's cat's alive and dead at the same time.
So there's some counterplay to that. You don't get to choose, or maybe you get to choose which one you're at.
Which I think the one that gets hit is the determining factor. Like until somebody checks, we don't know.
Okay, so then there's some counterplay on the DM's part that if you put one in a weird spot,
yeah,
so that you have advantage on attacking. If
and
someone hits the safe one,
you're only in the dangerous spot.
Okay. All right. So if that's his combat ability, is like Echo Knight.
Yeah,
but
kind of
different.
Yeah,
sort of like Echo Knight, but different. And then his second ability is something related to like anticipation, like or divination type of thing, like figuring something out. It's some form of information game. I'll have to rewrite this into something that makes sense.
Yeah,
but I've got a captured version of divide and multiply.
Cool.
So downtime action.
Yeah.
And it allows you, maybe how it works is that tough to define something like this and not make it too open-ended.
Yeah.
And how it could be used.
What's a downtime action?
Oh, his whatever his divination ability might be.
Oh, yeah.
His ribbon ability that's going to let him apparently do math.
Yeah.
The ability could just be called like the algorithm.
Yeah. Arithmancy. Arithmancy. That's what mancy means, is predicting the future.
Yeah.
So like necromancy technically needs reading the future through the dead.
Okay.
I know we use mancy as like magic in English, but originally it meant like a way to predict the future.
Okay. So arithmancy.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be, so there's a way, we got to figure out how is it going to, because it feels like it should be something that limits, like if you have a set of possibilities, you're able to narrow it down.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to implement that because it's heavy built on DM interaction.
Yeah.
And I don't want to leave those rules so open-ended that the player, I want it to be able to be fairly clear what the DM should do when interacting with this.
Yeah, it's not just like, DM, give me a hint.
Yeah. But, so let's say we give it some specific other game mechanic to interact with.
Yeah.
Or specific set of game information that could be uncovered. You know, like size up, we made a predetermined list
of what it can do,
of what it could give you. And it's about a creature that you're directly interacting with in size up. So what if this could be applied to something else like low?
What about we just have them bank a success
On a skill check?
Yeah.
Like Divination Wizard does?
What kind of Divination Wizard is you can use a success or a failure, but it doesn't really matter what you roll on our die, and they can force it on other people. Maybe it's just you can, at this level, you can predict the future well enough that you can get a single success where you need it. I don't know.
I mean, mechanically, that's not bad and pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But if it's any check...
Is it still called Mathlete?
Right now it is.
Maybe it's some sort of physical-based divination.
So this is the real muscle wizard.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like muscle wizard is definitely going to be a class in the spell sword tree.
Yeah. Oh, man. I feel like there's a good idea here.
Yeah.
I just don't know where it's at. Well, I'm hesitant, I guess, to make it... Maybe we need to wait until
maybe we need to wait until a later date to give them this feature, because maybe it's just too strong for tier 2.
It might be the case. Well, because I'm looking at it too as like, and maybe even Mathlete's not the right way, only because we already have like Two-Fisted Archaeologist, and I don't know that I want to make another muscle scholar.
Yeah. Oh no, I was thinking more of like a flip wizard.
Oh, like an acrobatic rather than an athletic. I mean, they're both technically athletics in our world.
Yeah. But maybe like a movement ability.
Well, we have one. Divide and multiply is, in essence, a movement ability.
It is true.
I mean, it is a utility, but it is a movement ability.
100% a movement ability. You can collapse the wave function yourself.
Okay. What if instead of information, it provides some type of efficiency?
Okay.
Like you're able to make some process, maybe some type of downtime process, much more efficient. Because you can make calculations that other people are not.
What if it's like on a social encounter type stuff? If you're, I guess it's really the only one that has that like success pool thing right now, right?
Yeah, we have a success system for it, but I don't think we haven't messed. We talked about having something. Oh no, we have one sort of related to travel.
Okay. Oh, so maybe it's like whenever you play the success pool minigame, your result is improved by 1. Maybe that's what it does. You could bank an extra success in one of those.
For either social
or for whatever one it is. It could be travel, it could be social, it could be whatever system we use that for.
I don't dislike that. Feels like the theme of the character though is not. That feels good, but that feels more like a different type of thing than Mathlete and Divide and Multiply. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, they don't feel like they fit together.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try another approach.
All right.
So we have, I mean, of like characters in media.
Yeah.
We have Indiana Jones.
Yep.
And we have somebody with an eidetic memory.
All right.
Which might be like, I don't know if it's Sherlock or if it's more like, because Sherlock is not really librarian.
No.
But Sherlock is closer to that. What other maybe? I mean, there was the show, The Librarian, but he didn't have I don't think an eidetic memory.
Well, honestly, that kind of was like his whole thing. He just knew shitloads of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is true. I watched a couple of. So we kind of have that character.
All right. Cool. The movies and that show were way better than they had any right to be.
Considering the fact that they felt like they were wildly low budget, they were still pretty darn entertaining. And like I think. While he had a similar, I mean, how many adventuring scholars can you have that don't have overlap in what they feel like?
Yeah, right.
Obviously, it felt a little Indiana Jonesy.
The show has like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Everyone on that show's a scholar except for the lady.
Yeah. So, it's kind of Indiana Jones's, but different.
Yeah.
Because he was very not physical, where Indiana Jones clearly has a level of physicality.
Doctor Who feels like maybe a scholar.
Okay. So Doctor Who feels like a scholar, Sherlock feels like a scholar. Anything else?
Hannibal Lecter.
The cannibal scholar?
Yeah, I mean, he took the eat people feat.
Yeah. Okay, so do we make so is he a chef?
I'm trying to think of more like, because I really like the like quantum double thing.
Yeah. Well, and we have, I mean, obviously you could do like real scholars that aren't part of that aren't part of media.
Yeah,
that we
Einstein.
Think of.
Niels Bohr.
Yeah. Well, and Einstein's like real and also was pretty heavily
fictionalized. Yeah.
Yeah. A part
He's
of
been
media.
mythologized.
Yeah, to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, nobody talks about how he married his cousin.
Would you talk about what is it from The Watchmen?
Oh,
obviously too powerful to be a D&D character.
Yeah,
Mr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
He's a scholar. While obviously being ridiculously not playable as a character.
Yeah. Ozymandias may be a little bit of a scholar.
Okay. Yeah. He is in Watchmen because he's like one of the super
smart
intelligence. Maybe let's go back from comic book, less comic book, more
other media.
Normal, regular media.
Less superpowered media.
So someone like Sherlock, my only issue with him is I feel like the abilities that you would give to someone like Sherlock, like if you were going to give stuff that's like specifically Sherlock-ish, those would be abilities that you'd probably be more inclined to give to a ranger.
Yeah.
Because they're like investigation type abilities, which feel kind of rangery.
Yeah, which I don't think of. Scholar is not so much investigation as is research, which is different.
Sure, but, and that's my issue, is I feel like we've already captured.
Well, like also like Sherlock does a bunch of weird fucking stuff in his books. Like he's a master of this weird martial art called Bartitsu or some shit.
Yeah, but my point was though, like some of the Sherlock stuff is already just in the class.
Yeah.
Like the generic class. And so there's not a whole lot left, I feel like, to capture in Sherlock.
He's real good at beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, but we've already got that in the archaeologist. Unless we want to make a second scholar class that has extra.
Well, he's good at like punching people real good. I mean, that martial art that Sherlock knows does teach you how to fight with an umbrella.
So an improvised weapon subclass?
Yeah, maybe. Some kind of improvised.
Is that reasonably different enough from Two-Fisted Archaeologist?
I mean, probably not for like one of the three.
Yeah.
Like that may be one we make later, but for the initial release, we should probably have some more variety. What about Take 10?
What do you mean?
It's just their ability lets them take 10 on any roll. Any D20 roll.
For the mathlete?
Yeah.
Like keep the same. So then your strategy for that character is, well, the issue with that is by like tier 3, you're auto succeeding on every skill check potentially. 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You auto succeed on every high tier skill check because you take the one that gives you 8 in every class.
Oh yeah.
And then you just work on getting all of them.
Just plus 2s. You get as many plus 2s as you can find.
Yeah. And then you're just auto succeeding on every check. That may not be.
Yeah, that might be a little busted. Especially because you'll be coming off an expert doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he needs some kind. It's hard to.
Okay, so let's go. Maybe the magic book idea, and in that magic book idea that you had, maybe he's like. We'll go back to the idea of like a traveling, like guest speaker.
Okay.
And it's like he's a type of, instead of being someone who gains information like the librarian,
Yeah.
it's that where the librarian is like able to gain new information and has like of generic information.
Yeah.
Maybe this person with the magic book has like cultural stories, like a record keeper type thing.
Okay.
And the magic book is
oral history.
Yeah. Like an oral history type thing. And the book knows it.
Yeah.
But obviously the book
I mean, a book that records everything that you hear for the last month.
Yeah, but so much of that feels like it just gets used to do stuff that we should, like we talked about the other day.
The DM should just tell you.
The DM should just tell you. I don't really like gatekeeping information from a player that their character should know.
Yeah.
Or could know.
No. What about always take 10 on athletics checks?
I would rather have something closer to the divination wizard only because...
Okay, well, maybe we just do the success thing.
Yeah, it could be successes. I don't know if you hate stored rolls. I never played divination wizard enough to know how annoying that is.
They were all right. I played divination wizard like one time in an online game. It was fine. They were good. They just weren't very interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something really cool he could do. Because his other ability is super dope. All right, what other math terms do we have? Divide, multiply, addition, subtraction, exponent, matrices, prime, absolute value.
We want the other one to be a ribbon ability to keep in theme, right?
Yeah.
It still needs to be...
Yeah, it probably should be more utility.
Yeah, not really a combat ability.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's like as part of a downtime, make a rune lore check equal to the tier of knowledge you wish to gain. You divine the answer to a yes/no question based on success.
Let's start with that.
All right.
Let's go with that. We will make a priority that somebody play test this and feel what that feels like.
We'll see how that do
early, and we'll see if it's like, this is just too open-ended.
Yeah, this is just a lot.
Yeah.
Call it arithmancy.
And I'm going to make it I'm going to write like, for now, I'll just put 3. It doesn't mean anything yet, but I'm going to put 3 downtime actions.
Cool.
We may, once we end up balancing how many actions you get in the downtime and everything, but I feel like it should be something that takes up most of your downtime.
Yeah.
Like you don't really get to, if you want to do this, you could do that, but you don't really get to do other things. You're over there spending your time figuring this out.
At tier 2, it's 3. At tier 3, it's 2. At tier 4, it's 1.
Yeah, maybe. Depends on that, or maybe you can, I don't know, because your tier is going to go up. So there's like, you're actually, you're without it actually changing, it will naturally get stronger.
Oh, because the check will be easier, but I also think maybe it takes you less time.
Because you'll be able to do at tier 4, you're doing a downtime action to get an answer to potentially very easily a tier 4 knowledge check.
Yeah.
So it's going to just, since it's a skill check that's part of this, it's actually just going to get better.
Yeah.
Inherently. But yeah, we may also reduce the cost of how long it takes you to. The only thing is I wouldn't want it to be in a gameplay loop where the person's doing 3 of them or 4 of them in a single downtime. And the DM just keeps having to ask yes, no to a bunch of questions. I kind of like it being limited to like, you can do 1 of these a downtime. Not
maybe that's
4
what it
of
is.
them.
Maybe it's 1 downtime action. You may only do 1 of these per downtime.
Okay. That might work too. I like it being in my first thought, maybe let's start with 3 and it reduce in cost, but you can still only do 1
per downtime.
Only because I like the idea of this is something.
This takes all fucking night.
Yeah, we're new to it, which means that it takes more time, and you have to choose: do I want to ask them a question, or do I need to be doing something else?
Do I got to help my
time?
party, or do we need an answer?
Yeah, and then
1 question a day ain't too bad.
No, and I don't think that will be annoying for a DM to deal with. Where 4 of them every downtime could be really annoying.
Yeah, I dig. I feel like that's easy to grok. I cannot wait to play with some of these classes.
I know. There's a really...
Some of these are so fucking weird.
Okay. Arithmancy. Currently 3 downtime actions.
All right.
You spend time making calculations. Make a rune lore check equal to the tier of the knowledge you are trying to gain. On a success, get the answer to a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Then on a failure, you'll just get nothing. You won't. This is not going to probably be something that can give you bad information.
Yeah.
It's just either no information
or
a
yes or no.
Yeah. That feels fine.
No, like, yo, what up? It's your boy from the math gods.
And I like that it's a rune lore check. You're doing math just because, like, there's not necessarily any definable difference between science and magic.
Yeah. It's any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and any sufficiently understood magic is indistinguishable from science.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So, immortal.
Oh, man. Thank fuck. Scholar's finally done.
Yeah. That scholar was a lot.
For a month, technically.
Yeah, technically. We have, but even not in the, like, we took a long break.
Yeah.
Just, we spent a lot of time on
like
Scholar.
Scholar got like 3 sessions.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, there's been some of them that we finished in like 30 minutes. And I think we've probably got more like 3 hours on Scholar.
I think the only combo class that was easy was the Ranger. Like the only cross path.
And that's probably because we'd already built it.
We spent weeks working on that 5e Ranger.
Well, the Holy Knight I actually don't think was too bad either.
Yeah, that one went pretty quick.
But we had so much to draw from.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of paladin archetypes.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a paladin.
Yeah,
essentially.
What different ways can they be that? All right, let's sprinkle a little bit of weird historical context, and boom.
Yeah.
Holy Knight. I feel like Immortal may be the same. Let's find out.
Yeah, so Immortal obviously is more or less a monk class. Or at least that's its closest analog.
In my head, they're Chinese novel protagonists.
Okay, so I already like the feature for resource gain we gave it.
Yep.
You just gain one at the start of each turn.
Yep, I like that.
So we want to give them probably a movement buff of some kind.
Yeah.
Do we want to do all of them have a natural weapon?
Something like your body is strengthened. You have a natural weapon 3 and DR 3.
Iron body.
Yeah, Iron Body. There we go. Chinese novel protagonist.
Yeah. An Immortal is... What is it?
Mystic Expert.
Mystic Expert. Okay. So Mystics come in with the ability to wear
armor.
Well, I mean, anyone can wear armor.
Yeah, they just have to have a simple property.
They can come in without the simple property. Immortal...
The fighter's DR.
So let's say you come
DR3 does not stack with armor. You think?
So then the Mystic being able to wear armor is just kind of negated. I think it has no benefit.
Yeah. I don't remember how much the...
Maybe it's just you gain 1 additional. Because 1 DR is not bad.
Yeah, that's what the Juggernaut fighter gets.
And if you're just adding that, like you wear armor and you get 1 additional DR.
Yeah,
that's a little stronger, but I don't think it's too broken.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just 1 additional DR.
Yeah,
and then a natural weapon 3.
Yeah, and we gave... What did we give the Profister?
They get
natural weapon 4. and 5 if they have the martial artist feat.
Yeah.
Would we want to just do the same?
Yeah, I think so.
4 and 5 if you have the martial artist feat.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, we're doing that enough. Maybe we just want to take that out and put in the martial artist feat.
What do you mean?
Martial artist gives you a natural weapon 3, or if you already have a natural weapon, improves it by 1.
Or you mean it gives you a 4?
No. It gives you a 3.
Uh-huh.
And if you already have a natural weapon, it improves it by 1 instead. But D's give you 4s, and if you take the martial artist feat, it bumps it up to a 5.
Okay. Is it going to, if we do it that way though, because originally we talked about that, and you were like, I want this to just be for this class so that there isn't as much overlap. Because if you have like
a gnome,
if you gain, let's say a gnome, or you gain like a boon that gives you a horn.
Yeah.
Or, like if you're able to gore someone with your horns, does martial artist mean that you have 1 more damage? Do we want it to work with any natural weapon, or just natural weapons that...
Maybe 1 natural weapon that you pick when you take the talent.
How will we phrase it to make sure that it doesn't work with sorcerer and the tentacle natural weapon? It would just say if it's a permanent natural weapon that you have?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. I wouldn't come up with that later. We'll just write it the same way as the Pro Fistor now.
Okay. I think you're right. I think it's better.
I think it's
for
probably
it to
a
be on the
smoother way to do that.
But I am concerned about its interactions and making sure that we account for those. Movement ability? Just increased move speed?
I was just thinking double move speed.
Oh, just make them 60?
Yeah.
Well, will that... how about we make it scaling? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess we could give it to him now.
Equal to 10 times your tier?
Yeah, maybe. So you end up with 40 additional. I was thinking of it comboing, which is not a problem, but it combos with like other boon classes that are going to give move speed.
Oh, well, I don't know that going fast is going to be like a super huge problem.
Probably not.
Because we don't play on a grid as much.
Yeah.
It's not designed around that. And movement is really, really a lot better whenever you have like tactical positioning and stuff.
Yeah. This is it'll just narratively will generally like, you'll be like, can I get over there while avoiding people?
Yeah.
Yeah, you pretty much can.
Because if we double it, triple it, and quadruple it, he's, 140 or 120.
Yeah,
at tier 4.
Fine. Yeah, because something like the vampire.
Yeah, if you want to be the fastest motherfucker on the planet, be a vampire immortal. And
yeah, because at tier 3, the elder vampire gets plus 25 additional speed is what we have written down right now.
So yeah, if you want to run at like 60, 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, we probably will end up bumping the vampires up a little bit too, actually. All right, do we want to do 30, 10 times your tier, or 5 times your tier? Like 30 now, or...
I think 30.
Okay.
Because, if you were a vampire immortal at tier 4 with all if we just doubled or added another like base movement every tier, like double it at 2, triple it at 3, quadrupled it at 4, you walk as fast as Usain Bolt runs, which is not...
Oh, 25 plus 30? And plus 6 or 60 is be 85?
Well, it's 140 plus 25 quadrupled, so 240, which is 240 feet every 6 seconds. Divided by 6 is 40. And then 40 feet per second is 27 miles an hour.
Because expert's going to be able to dash twice, right?
I don't know if we have like a dash mechanic yet.
We have a run, though. We talked about being able to move at twice your speed. But I guess if you can't, because you could use, well, it's an action, isn't it? That we were going to have, you'd use up an action to move it twice.
So is what it is, but I don't remember. But even still, like at tier 4, if you put all this stuff into speed, you walk as fast as a regular human runs.
Yeah.
Like the fastest one, but a human. In no way supernatural. So I feel like that's within the bounds of truthiness. So I don't feel bad about the double, triple, quadruple thing. Because I don't think that'll be moving too fast.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's 90 times 4?
Or
85 times 4 as of right now. 340.
Yeah.
340 feet around.
Yeah, so it's 40 miles an hour.
So if you were an immortal vampire, you'd run 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, broadly.
That's probably fine. That's fast.
Yeah, you're somewhere between 40 and 60, something like that, depending on what you did.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
Cool.
Okay.
60 feet it is, or 30 feet it is. What was the other thing that you got rid of for Iron Body?
Oh, the two things I had was one was that your body becomes a natural weapon, and then the other thing said,
harder, better, faster, stronger body.
Yeah.
Which I do like, but is a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah.
Well, those two are harder, better, faster, stronger body.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like,
oh, you know what I just realized?
Oh.
I because of slotting natural weapons.
Yeah.
Where for Iron Body, we're saying your body becomes a natural weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, martial artist is supposed to be the fist slot.
Yeah.
So if this was body and fist slot, what you would actually be getting is a 4 and a 3.
Okay.
As opposed to buffing it.
All right. Yeah. Cool. So maybe we don't have to do that.
Yeah, maybe we just go ahead and delete this because they are technically different slots if we do leave it as the body.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so what if their base spend ability is your natural weapons 1 point, your natural weapons do 1 more point of damage? Something like that?
I don't know. It's already going to be yeah, I mean, because you'd have a 4, you would spend it, and you go to all your natural weapons?
I don't know, maybe? Is that too much?
I think it's too much because you're going to take
have 3
let's
and
be
then you
honest.
attack 6 times.
You're going to get the immortal.
Yeah.
If you're the immortal, you're going to get martial artist. And so then you're 4 and 3, and you get to do that twice as an expert.
Yeah.
You're doing 7 damage.
Yeah.
And that would increase it by 4.
Yeah, you're right up there with the fighter.
Yeah, because now you're a 5 and a 4, 9. That's 18 damage around, guaranteed.
Yeah, no,
that's more than a fighter
That's too
can do.
much. Do we have any of that crouching tiger, hidden dragon, run on the air stuff in here yet?
You mean like climb, like a climb
Well, did you ever see like bulletproof monk? Or...
No, I'm familiar with them, but we don't have any. I don't think we have anything for that yet, except for like a climb speed.
Yeah, well, I was thinking like you can run through the air. If you end your turn in the air, you fall.
Oh, okay. So like a sort of like a flight speed.
Yeah, he can't really fly, but he can run on the air while he's moving. Like 1 or 2 resource, you may run on any surface and as if it is solid.
I feel like mechanically, and I get that, I know thematically where we're going with this.
Yeah.
But mechanically, it would make more sense to just say, 2 resource, you gain a fly speed until end of turn. If you end your turn in the air, you fall.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Mechanically, that's really just what it... With that much move speed, though, man, you're going to go far.
Yeah. I don't need an athletics check to get to the top of the wall. I'm just going to run up there.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Do that for now. Airwalk.
Air like stone.
You want it to be phrased that way? All right.
Let's give the vibe.
Okay. I mean, my next thought was Stairway to Heaven.
Nope. Stairway to Heaven. That's what it is.
Come at us, Led Zeppelin.
Hell yeah.
Should they fall as normal or can they glide to the ground? Like, do we want this guy to be able to just fly up and punch flying enemies and then glide to the ground? Or is it that...
I think they fall as normal, and then one of the archetypes will get that float thing, maybe ascetic.
Okay.
Drunken Master.
Yeah, Drunken Master, ascetic, and Key Blast guy.
Key Blast guy.
So Key Blast guy is just gonna get the Ray cantrip.
I think he gets the Ray cantrip, and he can make melee attacks at like 30-foot range or something is his like spendy thing, maybe.
Oh, maybe we should just make it that.
Okay.
Maybe we should just make him be able to make melee, because otherwise it's going to be really elementally.
Yeah.
And not that I'm against that, but I don't know that we need to
put that in there.
Yeah, I feel like we should not. So
yeah, like one resource, he can
make his natural weapon attacks at range.
Yeah, at 30-foot range. Yeah, one resource, your melee weapon attacks gain a range of 30 feet. They are still treated as melee attacks.
Your natural
your natural weapons.
Attack. So he can't, if he's carrying a weapon, he's not going to be able to hit them with a weapon. It's his natural weapons that he can do this with. Yeah.
He can maybe do it with a weapon at a later tier, but right now, it's just his body that he's that in tune with.
Yeah.
You don't see Goku throwing Ki Blast through that power pole. I do kind of like leaving it as Ki Blast guy.
Okay, so does this use action economy to spend this one to gain range on your natural weapon attacks?
No, I think it's just one resource. He just gets range on it.
One resource, and I'll name it incidental action.
Yeah.
Because that's what we have. You get one free incidental.
Because I feel like his thing should be throwing Ki Blasts all over the place. And if he gets one resource every turn, he can do this.
Yeah.
Every round of combat, do nothing else and be fine.
Yeah. He's just going to be punching people at range.
I'm just kicking people in the dick left and right.
Yeah, and if he's an expert, man, he's going to be going to town.
Putting it out. What else would Ki Blast guy have other than Ki Blasts?
That was our whole thing right there.
That was oh man, that's really the whole shit and caboodle right there. What about like a charge up beam?
Okay. Yeah.
3
vigor.
No, I'm thinking like 1 vigor every round.
Full round action.
Yeah, probably a full round action, maybe. Yeah, full round action at the start, and it can like take lower actions later.
I'm thinking no. I'm thinking we should straight up make this so not like a spirit bomb, because that took like minutes.
Yeah.
He gets one of those later.
In retrospect, 5-minute charge time is pretty abysmal as far as combat applications go.
Yeah. But that's going to be like maybe one of his late game things.
Yeah.
Like a tier 4.
Friendship bomb.
Yeah. But I'm thinking this is like, okay, so 1 vigor, full round action, and it takes 3 full round actions. And 1 vigor each action. I think
it does...
or an amount of damage equal to the number of rounds that you've charged it. Yeah.
Let's like 2d6.
Okay, so it's a full round action to charge it, and then it's probably on a subsequent turn.
Yeah.
It will be an action to attack with
when
it.
you yell ha.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. And you say ha for the entire round.
Yeah. Ha.
This is going to do radiant damage, right?
Yeah. Physical or radiant, maybe.
For now, let's make it. Are we sure we want to be able to have multiple round charge up? And I only say this for, are we going to, is this something you'd be able to charge out of combat?
Well, only the first round of it.
Okay. Okay, as long as we make sure we get that
you
clear.
could do the 2d6, but you like the smite, you can't like go up anymore.
Well, the smite, I'm not even sure if you can charge them because they're not an action. They're part of an attack. And I don't know if we even, I'm not even sure if you can smite anything out of combat.
So the idea is in combat, you just spend however much resource to improve your attack. Out of combat, you'd sit there and focus, but you couldn't charge it past the first level. So like in combat, you could spend 2 levels of resource on it. I think it's 4. It's 2 apiece.
No, and I know. I know what we were thinking on that.
Yeah.
We haven't figured out how to write it so that it would allow you to use both a smite and also would allow you to use something like the expert's charging ability, because they're 2 mechanically different things. Even though they function similarly, one of them is like an action on its own, and the others are part of a different type of action.
Yeah.
And the way we have it written right now is like you spend an action to like, I don't know. We're going to have to work on phrasing how all this works.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as we're making sure that the way we end up writing it doesn't mean you can spend 10 turns charging this up out of combat to blow up a city gate at tier 2.
I don't know. Maybe you may charge it for a number of rounds equal to your tier.
Okay. And what kind of damage do we want it to do?
Well, I like Radiant, but also if we do Radiant, then that makes it the odd man out when it's not a D8.
Sure. Okay. So not Radiant then.
I think just physical. Or maybe just untyped.
Untyped. We were talking about something else being untyped the other day. Oh, it was untyped natural weapons.
Oh, yeah.
The
sorcerer tentacles.
Yeah.
Force.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't made force damage yet, but we can.
Yeah, maybe this is what it does.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the D6 magic damage. We'll come up with something.
Okay. So, but we wanted to do D6s.
Yeah, I think D6s, because 2D8's too much and 1D8 is too little.
Yeah. Well, but it could always be, instead of 2D6, it could be, I don't know.
Well, because 2D6 is so easy to have on that bell curve of about 7.
Okay.
So like half the rolls on a D6 end up as a 7, so you're doing pretty close to that.
Yeah.
But a 1D8's very swingy.
But you could always spend 1 vigor. So unless we increase the range a lot, you could just spend 1 vigor to do, if you have the martial artist feat, you could just spend 1 vigor to do 7 damage.
I was thinking range of like 100 feet, something like that. Or maybe like 50 feet, but a line.
Yeah, it needs to be able to hit multiple targets.
Yeah. So like a 50-foot line.
Okay, so then you can... Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of balancing with everything else.
Maybe it's a 30-foot line or 100 feet single target.
How about we do this for now? Let's worry about the idea of charging up multiple rounds at a later level.
Okay.
Let's make it full round action.
Okay.
And it's either 30, 50, or 60-foot line.
Okay.
And it does something like, could be 2d6. It could be 1d6 plus your natural weapon or your base natural weapon. I don't know. Like 1d6 plus 4.
Yeah.
Of course, we could just say it on that 1d6 plus 4. Because that's like what your natural weapon already does, your Ki Blast.
Yeah.
I feel that might statistically make sense. Like, oh, you're doing a normal Ki Blast plus a little extra damage.
Okay.
Technically, that's better than 2d6. Or I mean, it's less swingy.
Yeah.
It's more slightly better.
Well, because it's got an equal chance of doing 10 as it does as 5. And then there's like a 50% chance it does 7 on a 2d6.
Yeah, 1d6 plus 4 is just a little statistically better than 2d6.
Yeah.
Not much, but a little.
0.5 better.
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be that. It could just be 2d6. Maybe it shouldn't interact with it at all.
I think just 2d6.
Yeah. Okay. But let's for now just leave it as because I think I want to give a little more thought to the idea of charging up and how we want that charge up to work.
Okay.
Plus, right now at this level of combat,
it
feels like most of the time you'd be better served, unless it's going to grow exponentially.
Yeah.
Round over round. You'd be better served to either just fire at this round and then and move on, or use your other attacks. Because if it's just like an additional 2d6 on the next turn, then why do it?
Well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense after 2 rounds.
Yeah. So we'd have to figure out what the curve of increased damage actually would make sense.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't even know that you need to be doing that much damage at tier 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
I do want it to eventually charge. I'm just not sure what that mechanic should actually look like.
Yeah, we can mess with that later.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, I think we're good.
I think
for this episode.
Catch y'all on the flip side.